cool. I don't want to be mean. I understand, all the games and all the stuff that goes on with trying to pull strategy. But to me, it just seems like Charles and Lando do the most for the least. It just seems like it. But right now, what we're going to do before I get into that, we do have a wheel spin for kickback quality trivia, insured frames with 6 wins, pretty much back to back. Next season, we will be changing the way we do kickback quality trivia, not only the new format, but we also will probably change how many times you can win before you win again, probably capping those off somehow. We're going to talk about it. Me and the group will get in and talk about that, but we will still have quality kickback trivia next year. So let's spin. Congratulate Insured Frames for his many wins this season. Well-deserved, well-earned, fast on that button, and with the knowledge. So I'm going to bring the wheel over. We're going to get ready to spin this wheel so we can get on with Finale Lap and talk about this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And it is going to be for a $50 or $25 gift card, and it will be for a $50 gift card. Insured Frames will be receiving a $50 gift card plus his $25 gift card from last week, just before the holidays, which will give him a total of $75 in gift cards that he will be receiving from Wolfpack Performance Quality Kickback Trivia. All winners have been paid. All winners will always be paid because I am a G and I am straight up about what I damn do. So that being said, we still do have a VIP box that we will be issuing out to somebody, that we will be celebrating and giving to somebody. So we still got a VIP box for somebody that we will need to celebrate and present. So you all hold tight for that. But right now we're going to talk about this race. There were more than a few very exciting radio messages. The racing wasn't all that great. I think, honestly, Las Vegas probably gave us a better racing event. Not a bad racing event. We didn't have one safety car, which is not a bad thing, but necessarily it means that these drivers probably weren't put in enough challenging positions to navigate and show their race craft, and sometimes it has to fall off. So inevitably, you don't want a safety car because people are being injured or major accidents or have to happen, but it does happen. But not a safety car. Ferrari were trying to bet on a safety car, and it didn't go in their favor. Just didn't go in their favor. And I do want to speak to this. Ferrari, as you see right here in the wall, it seems like I was starting off to say Lando and Charles seem to do the most for the least. Charles, you didn't stand up to Max this season, and you said you were. You didn't. You got pushed off in Texas. You got pushed off in Vegas. You got pushed off somewhere else. You constantly got pushed around by Max Verstappen, not really holding your ground, just being up front and real. Derwin Hill says that was a boring race. You are right, my brother. It was a boring race. It was. And then let's go to Lando. Lando, you are a legit doorman. A legit doorman for Max Verstappen. This entire season, you are a legit doorman. You fought harder for a second against Lewis Hamilton at any portion of the season than you ever fought against Max Verstappen for first place when you legitimately had first place. And then today, Ferrari decide to one-up Lando in being a doorman, not for Max, but for Perez, Red Bull team. And you literally let Perez through. I understand. People, I fully get it. Doesn't matter in the grand scheme of so many things. Perez had a 5-second penalty. Leclerc said, I can still get second anyway when the time shifts. But you did it for really nothing because you didn't slow up Russell. You didn't slow him up enough. I mean, let's just be for real. You didn't slow Russell up enough. You literally didn't, why? It's like you did something inevitably that was going to put you back in the same position. Really, what you probably risk more than you gained there, honestly. You probably risked a little bit more than you probably would have gained because, truth be told, there's no telling what the hell could have happened. Perez had already made contact with Lando during an overtake, What if Perez screws up that and ends up wrecking you out? Now Perez is out, you're out. You don't even get second place. Russell gets second, and then Lando ends up third. It was pointless for you to do that, but you were willing to do it for some grand scheme of the World Constructor Championships. Bro, you should have just stayed where you were and keep driving your race. Musa says, Mercedes, if you're reading this, please, I'm asking nicely, let's bring a concrete car next year. No, Musa, it's actually the contrary. Concrete is slow drying, all right? It's heavy and doesn't go anywhere. Everybody walks all over it. And that is exactly what happened to Mercedes this season, all right? Concrete is slow drying. It's heavy, and everybody walks all over it. And that's what Mercedes was this season. They were slow. People walked all over them. And it was like watching paint dry, all right? Mercedes has to do better next season. Straight up facts. They got to do better next season. Let's build a fast car. How about that, Mercedes? Build a fast car next season. Build a car that is aerodynamically sound from the beginning of the season. Build a car that you can develop throughout the course of a season. Build a car that you can provide your 7-time, should be 8-time world champion an opportunity to win again next season. This probably will be 3 seasons Lewis Hamilton has went without a win. That's what it's going to be looking like. 3 seasons possibly could go by with Lewis Hamilton without a win. And it's not because he's not capable. It's because the team has dropped the ball. All right. Salute. Big props. Red Bull 1 and 2. Drivers Championship. Also the Constructors Championship and the Driving Championship. So big shout out for Red Bull for that. Definitely still stand by it. Not really happy about how they done it. But next season is going to be, breaching the cost cap is the gift that keeps on giving. So I do understand if people still feel that way. I completely get it. I completely understand if people are still going to feel that way. But I also will say at some point in time, you do have to come up off of that and as a team figure out how do we get around that. I do understand there are some teams that are definitely going to be at odds end and a disadvantage in regards to where they were before the cost cap kicked in to where they can get now that the cost cap is in play. But I will not give that or concede that excuse to teams like McLaren, Mercedes, Aston Martin, Red Bull doesn't count, and Ferrari. I'm not giving them that same pass. They have been the best in the game. They have had some of the greatest, and Mercedes having the greatest driver in the game. So for me to give Mercedes, Ferrari, Aston Martin, and McLaren the pass on, guess what? You can't catch up. I'm not doing it. Mercedes, you definitely aren't getting that pass. You have the greatest driver currently still active and at an elite level in the game. You need to go ahead and get your shit together. Ferrari, you dropped the ball so many times. If this was the NFL, you couldn't even be on the practice squad. McLaren, you definitely are being looked at to show us more next season, having that you went through a custody dispute for Oscar Piastri and it has paid off. On the back half of this season, you've shown us more performance and the ability to do phenomenal pit stops. You do not have a pass next season. Those 3 teams need to show us more next season against the fight for the championship, trying to strip it from Red Bull, period. That's what we got. J-Rob and faster pit stops all day long. All day damn long faster pit stops. Mary Beanie says next season the cheaters will get their karma. You know what? I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see if that's actually going to happen, Mary Beanie. I'm actually waiting to see because at this point in time, karma does not always manifest this way in the way we think we should see it. Sometimes karma happens and we never see it. It just happens in different ways. I'm not sure if it's going to happen here on track. More so than the true statement is nothing lasts forever. Nothing. Ferrari's dominance didn't last forever. Mercedes' dominance didn't last forever. And Red Bull's dominance will not last forever. And I do dare say, put me on the books for this, and I don't mind recanting it if I'm not correct or accurate. I'm not saying that this is a fact. But if history does hold true, if tendencies do make decisions worthwhile, if people's actions are a habit of who they are, then Red Bull still have to try to eclipse 4. They still have to try to eclipse 4. They're only at 3. So if they still are who they are and they have managed to change to a degree, but not overall, then that means it is quite possible their ceiling may be 4 championships before we see another team win it. And I'm not saying maybe another team wins it and then they come back and win it again, but I'm not too sold and too confident that Red Bull will do anything different than what they have done in the past with Seb, with Max Verstappen. We still got to remember 2025 is going to be a very pivotal season. Engine suppliers, enough time to where teams kind of catch up and develop these cars. Mercedes, although abysmal these past few seasons, still can't be counted out. They've still shown us they can develop. McLaren, although a very slump season last season, a bounce back this season, can't count them out. Aston Martin getting ready to partner up with Honda. Everything they showed us with the AMR 23, Alonso with 8 podiums, can't count them out. So things are coming. Change is coming. We'll see if karma is part of that. Galactus says Merc takes P2 from Ferrari. Laugh out loud. Now they need to go back and make a better car, and pit crew needs to get buff and go better. Let's go 2024. I'm all for that, Galactus. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Guaranteed. I'm all for it. I just, at this point in time, I think it's something that we have to consider. Is it a real possibility? I'm definitely not sold on Mercedes doing better as far as pit crew management because they just haven't. They just haven't. They just not have done a good job at pit crew management. So am I confident in them doing something else than that? No, not at this point in time. And I think I'm rightfully so. I think I have the right to feel that way given what they've shown us. I don't think that Mercedes are going to do a great job at recruiting some pit crew that could give them better performance on their pit stops. And why don't I feel that way? Because damn it, they haven't done it. And damn it, they have never addressed it. We have yet to hear Mercedes address the situation with their pit crew. We haven't had them say, you know what, our pit crew, they suck. Or you know what, we got to do better at pit stops, really. We really got to look into this. And until you hear a team like admit it, then I have to say that they haven't faced it. And if they haven't faced it, then it means maybe they're not going to do anything about it because they feel it's not a real important area for them to address right now. And I would say to some degree, maybe you're right. Maybe an area for you to address is the horrible car you made 2 seasons back to back. So I don't know what they're going to do with the pit crew. I don't know. And we'll have to see what's going to happen with that. But I will say this. I'm going to give right off the back at some point in time, you got to just say some people don't have the nerve. And you can call it reckless because it is at times. You can call it being very arrogant because it is at times. But what I can say is you do have to have the ability and the nerve to say, you know what, I'm going to stick this car in there and you're going to have to force me off track. You're going to have to wreck me off track. And oftentimes I've been quoted here in saying that other drivers need to have that mentality against Max Verstappen. Well, what I'm saying right now is Max Verstappen has that mentality. Charles could not get the job done so many times it was not funny. And the reason he couldn't get it done is because what I've been telling Charles to do this whole time, what I've been saying about Lando this whole time, is you got to stand strong and hold your ground. Charles couldn't get it done because Max held his ground and said, you know what? I've seen plenty of times when I put you under pressure and you cracked. Right now, you're trying to put me under pressure, and I don't think you can do that. And he wasn't wrong. Charles was unable to do it in those first couple of laps. Why? Because he wasn't willing to put Max in the situation that Max is able and willing to put him in, and he couldn't get it done. They got to get some nerves. They got to grow some balls. They got to get some motherfucking heart. You got to get some heart out here if you're going to drive in this game. You can't drive weak. You can't drive scared. You can't drive timid. You can't drive afraid. You can't drive concerned, worried. You can't drive anything with the mentality that says, I'm going to falter or scratch. And if you've never been around dog fighting or been able to see dog fighting, which is not the best thing, but telling you right now, if a dog scratches, it's yielding. That's what's happening. They're yielding out there. It's crazy. And that's why you couldn't get it done, Charles. That's why you failed so many times, Charles. I know your teams failed you, but damn it, you failed too. And in them couple of laps, had you put Max in the same situation he's put you in time after time, maybe you could have pulled off the move, but you didn't. Gabriel Sanchez says Lewis is honing his battlecraft in the trenches. He better do it, bro. He better keep his skills sharp, because when Mercedes drop that car and it's ready, he gonna need to be ready. Piceman066, big shout out to you for the super sticker. And that's real talk. He gonna have to stay ready. You know, he's just gonna, but hopefully it's not like Colin Kaepernick. Right now, Colin Kaepernick gets up every day, still trains, still goes out there, throws the balls, still does all his agility training, but they're not giving him the chance. We might very well see the same situation with Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton staying ready, staying in shape, staying sharp. But if he never gets the car, the outcome's always going to be dulled. That's no different from Max Verstappen. He wasn't winning championships that they gave him a very dominant car. This is the same situation throughout the course of history of Formula One. But you know what? There have been some drivers that have good cars and couldn't do shit with them because they can't drive right. They're not the best drivers. I mean, you want to draw a comparison that maybe we can look at Perez. He has not been able to do what Max has been able to do in the RB19. Why? Because he's not as good as driver as Max Verstappen is. Or still maybe in play, Red Bull will not let him be as great as Perez can be. We won't know until Perez leaves Red Bull, goes to a team that is equally competitive, and then see what Perez can do. But even in this race, I might debate that Perez still fouled up his damn situation with making a costly error with Lando. But still, shit, if we go by the letter of the guideline, Perez had every right to that damn apex. I don't know why they gave Perez a penalty. Can somebody answer that? How is it that Max Verstappen escaped so many penalties in egregious situations, yet Perez, still with the same team, going into the apex alongside or ahead of Lando, making wheel-to-wheel contact? It wasn't anything catastrophic. And they give him a 5-second time penalty? Why are they not this expeditious when it comes to Max Verstappen? Why not a reprimand? Why not a warning? A time penalty for wheel-to-wheel contact, which clearly looked like a racing incident, because Lando surely had some room over there to give or to use up, but he didn't. And I don't want to hear shit about Lando not seeing him, because that's crap. So I'm really not rocking with the time penalty that they gave Perez. I think that was bullshit. I'm just going to call it like I feel it is. DP Auto Haas, Perez gets a penalty. Norris for driving through apex. Thank you. We can add that into the pot. Cha-ching. And when Max did it last week against Russell, Russell gets the penalty. I was just saying it. So I guess I'm not the only person seeing this. I did a video just before the race and told you all, they are making a spoiled brat into a monster with Max Verstappen. I'm just being real. I do not agree with the penalty that they gave Perez. And I'm fully understanding that indeed it would probably likely change the landscape of the situation with Mercedes and Ferrari, but still, Perez did not deserve a penalty in that situation given the circumstances that are laying before us. No, that was whack. That was whack for real. But getting on the peel right here, as you see the picture, Piastri was doing his thing against Russell at first, initially, you know what I'm saying, between laps like 7 and 8. All the way actually to lap 10, Pia was doing his thing. Pia is showing some good talent, some good skill. He still does have some buffing out to do, some polishing to do, certainly. But Piastri finishing just behind his teammate, Lando. So big shot to that. Definitely adding to more of those points to go into that Constructors' Championship bucket standings anyway, not actually the championship. I think McLaren have indeed assembled themselves a good roster. Now, I know the whole situation that happened with Alex Palou, but Alex Palou went and still very successful, a champion still in IndyCar. So big shout out to him. I think they would have still been stronger to have Alex in that garage. But McLaren, no doubt, very good driver lineup. Competitive car in the making. Now I just want to see, can they carry this over to next season and expound upon that? J-Rob says, like I said in Discord, the hope they keep the same energy in 2024, i.e. Verstappen. I really do. I hope they do. I hope they keep the same energy, J-Rob. They need to keep the same energy, but don't be surprised if they change it, because you know you've seen that before. DG Big Blue, Big Navy. We all know why Max doesn't get penalized. Just like we all know why Red Bull is allowed to have 2 teams on the track and 4 drivers. I'll add that to it. And that is something else I do believe needs to be addressed. I think that Formula One and the FIA need to be unified on the decision that, hey, and big shout out, France, salute to you. I think he's shown that he's had good character, upstanding. I really do applaud his take on Nick DeVries and that whole situation. I applaud France for being a voice of reasoning in a situation where a lot of us were polarized by Oscar and by Liam as far as rookie performance, and DeVries being canned by Red Bull, I think prematurely. And given what France was able to say and what he took the opportunity to say and do, I applaud him. I wish him the best in whatever he does in life going forward. I do hope he is as good as a person as they talk about him on the paddock, in real life outside the racetrack, as a human being and a person that gives people equal and shared opportunity no matter where they come from, what they look like, who they are, giving them that. So I'm wishing you the best in your life going forward. Very esteemed and energetic older gentleman in the game. So big shout out to France for that. But how about Yuki? You know what I'm saying? How about Yuki at least leading for a couple of laps there, a few laps there on France's last GP? So Yuki, like I had talked to about before, I think Yuki is definitely turning a new leaf. We can see right here that Yuki brought it in and finished 8th, just one position behind Ricciardo's best finish for AlphaTauri, but let's not get it twisted. Yuki finishing 8th is going into the bucket of other finishes that he's managed to bring points in the AlphaTauri. And I think Yuki needs his respect from people. I think that Yuki needs a little bit less criticism and more praise from people. I think Yuki needs to continue to grow as a driver. It doesn't stop here. And I do think if Yuki continues to grow as a driver and AlphaTauri getting these hand-down Red Bull parts from the RB19 that they are expected to get, I think we can look to see Yuki have a better season. That still does not mean I am not against Red Bull having 4 cars, 4 drivers, and 2 teams on the grid. I still think the FIA and Formula One need to break that up. I think the AlphaTauri need to be owned and operated by a totally different entity other than Red Bull. I don't find it fair. I don't find it ethical. And I do find it a slippery slope that is in the making. Just how I feel about that. But still, big shout out to Yuki for what he's managed to do and what he's managed to overcome, because before we can go back to DTS, Yuki didn't even want to work out. He didn't even want to work out, y'all. But he wanted to cuss all day on the radio, y'all. And I ain't mad at a little cussing. You know, I do's that. But Yuki turned a leaf, and in turning a leaf, he turned up his performance. So salute to Yuki for that. I definitely give him that. How about Danny Rick, though? How about Danny Rick? Where are we at with that? You know what I'm saying? We'll say that. We'll say that. We'll table this for another time. We'll have a totally separate video about 2024 predictions and recap and all that stuff, because I want to hear what you all think about that. We still going to be here for F1 Minute tomorrow, Monday night. So be here for that. It's going to be your opportunity to come onto the platform live. And that's the haters too, because y'all stay in the comment section blabbing, quartery keyboard warring, and they don't manage to step up for shit and come on live and say what you got to say, because you're buster. You're a buster. How about Galactics? Yuki showed Danny who's the boss. Yeah, for real. He did show Dan who's the boss. He showed him who's the boss. Dan Rick in 11th. But I will also say Danny Rick having a bit of an issue that was outside of his control, having to go back into the pits and not being able to fight up through there. But still, the outcome is the outcome, and that's really been the outcome majority of this season. So it's not like he's not getting no pass for that. It's just worthy for me to make note that he did have a situational race just to keep some integrity on the take. You know what I'm saying? Derwin Hill, Yuki has grown so much as a driver and as a person. He will be an awesome competitor. Listen, you know what else would be awesome? Let me tell y'all what else would be awesome is that when you come into the chat in the video, you could just hit the like button, because that's all you got to do. It's damn near been over 700 people through here, and it's only 65 likes on the live. Are you playing? Are you playing with me? I'm about to put a poll in the chat right now. Because I'm liable. I could go do something else. Believe that. I'm about to put a poll in the chat. I'm going to end that one. Here's the new poll. Here's the new poll in the chat. Vote on it. Don't dance on it. All right, here you go. So I put a poll in the chat. I do want to know if some of you think Yuki will do you think Rick will outperform Yuki next season? And I'm going to tell you what I think right now. I'm not confident in that. I think that they need to seriously consider a driver change. Keeping Yuki, although a lot of people are trying to vote on Yuki being out of there, keeping Yuki and going for another driver that we have seen perform better than Danny Rick in that car, at least as far as being a rookie. Now, McLaren, they ultimately dropped the ball on their very esteemed. What's going on, Alex? First time super chat. Alex says Wolfpack is a positive, supportive, inclusive community that loves jokes and motorsports. Come join the Discord. We are fans of all different teams. For real, for real. Great decision. Hey, big shout out to I don't know, it's Alex. That is the McLaren resident fan right there in our family, as well as we got Red Bulls. Not lying about that. Definitely having some fun. Always up for it, Alex. Big shout out to you, and big shout out to Alex getting into the Wolfpack Epic Grudge Racing Series. I seen you. I want to see you in there more. Hopefully by the time we start the racing series, you be in the door for that big prize that we gonna be dropping. Jesse James Bell. What's up, Jesse James Bell? The big time supporter of the channel. Yeah, two-time champion Max. I mean legit two-time chump. I cannot be mad at any of that. I cannot be mad at any of that Jesse James Bell is displaying on y'all. Max has built that up for himself, and they done made that for himself. So I'm with that. I really, like I said, I don't consider Max a three-time champion. That 2021 was rubbish. I give him 2022 was the cost cap, and it's like, okay, give him that. And then 2023 this season, it's like, you know, cost cap gift that keeps giving. But this is a legit championship for Max. And, you know, I'm going to go ahead and just leave it at that. It is what it is. But breaching the cost cap is the gift that people have said keeps on giving. We'll see what happens coming up soon, but doesn't take anything away from Max being a very talented and awesome driver. He's shown those skills before. 2021 was an epic season, and then they went and they totally screwed it up. Max Verstappen was my second favorite driver, or best driver, to Lewis Hamilton. And I always said this. I always said it, and most haters don't know because they just come in here and come and go. I always said Max Verstappen was going to be next up. It just was prematurely done by falsifying the regulations and the rules in that race and robbing Lewis Hamilton. And where I lost a lot of respect for Max is because of his own doing. Max did not have the integrity or the character to get up there and say, and I've seen it done before, so don't tell me the shit can't be done. As a sportsman, to get up there and say, hey, you know what? This did not go how I would have liked it to go, being the competitive driver that I am. This was not done properly, and I know they're awarding me the championship, but to be real, Lewis Hamilton is the champion. But it is what it is. They're going to have to work that out. And it's cool. You're going to take what they award you, take the money, take the spot. But for Max to have said that with integrity would have been would have been a difference for me. I would have looked at him different. And of course, he would have had to do some other things, but that's not who he is. Max doesn't mind somebody cheating. He don't mind cheating to win. He's with a team that's done it. He don't mind that. He don't mind underhand tactics. He's done them himself. And that's where I lost respect for Max as a driver. Because up until then, Max was my second. And I felt that even if 2021 went down without a hitch, had Max won it without the shenanigans, and I'm not talking about the Silverstone, I'm not talking about the brake check was something that also kind of checked it off. I'm not talking about any of the other things that pretty much happened in 2021 I could have dealt with. All right, the fighting for the corners, the Monza situation, which was egregious, but we could have dealt with that. The Silverstone could have dealt with that. But what transpired in Abu Dhabi 2021, that was unacceptable. Unacceptable. So, Max going to have to do a lot of changes. So that's where a lot of that comes from. People really want to know. I mean, hell, it's warranted for people to feel the way that Jesse James Bell feel. And DG Big Blue has awarded somebody a Wolfpack membership, and Michael Dixon has been the collector of that Wolfpack membership. And that is nice as hell. So let me make sure. Let me see what I got going on here real quick. Let me check this out real quick. Did I pull the list out already? DG Big Blue, you are not on here just yet. So that boom, big shout out to you. I had to see you more, but definitely some things in the making and some things coming. So big shout out to DG Big Blue. Michael Dixon just being gifted a Wolfpack membership. Get in the Discord. We are going to be in there today at noon. We will be in the Discord for Wolves Den chat talking about all this stuff going on. So right there, many of you say no, Danny Rick will not outperform Yuki. Cool. All right, so let's move on down the list. Gasly didn't have the best race today. Gasly had a very rough day. He already was upset about Ocon getting him on the undercut. Walter Shavers, what's going on, fam? Crash is the all-time career penalty points leader, yet he hasn't had a penalty that was a true penalty in 3 years. And that time, he has never had a 10-second penalty. And what's funny about that is you have to look at that, like you have to consider, is that a layer of protection from outside forces? We don't want him to get a race ban. We don't want him to be penalized in a way that will really affect a race outcome, because I can say in debate that they have yet to hand Max a penalty that would really affect his race outcome. For real. It's a debate. It's a debate. If we look at it, it's a debate. Because you want to talk about even just recently in Singapore, they said they should have penalized him. They didn't. They reprimanded him. In Mexico, he slowed up pit lane. They should have penalized him. They didn't. They reprimanded him. So when is the moment come where you're going to, and then drivers, even this season, felt that Max wasn't being fairly penalized in respect to the rest of the drivers. Carlos is a big component to say, you know what, I've been getting some penalties that I don't feel I should have got. And honestly, I feel like Carlos definitely got a penalty he shouldn't have gotten. And people are wondering, like, what's up with that? And big shout out for Yuki doing that, like, salute to France. That shows me Yuki's growth as a person for what he said on the radio for France going through there. I didn't hear Danny Rick say anything, but Yuki saying something was really cool. So, yeah. But back to Gasly, didn't have a good time. And this just goes along with the whole situation where I was telling you all, this is not a good driver pairing. Here it is right here. Gasly 13th, Ocon 12th. And I can bet you that that's going to be a conversation in the team meeting. Gasly and Ocon are not even remotely what I would call courteous. They're not cordial. Holy crap! X-Trax 38 saying y'all come into the Wolfpack, and as you can see, X-Trax is an OG in the family with that blue badge. He just issued out 5 Wolfpack memberships. 5 people just got blessed before Christmas. Gabriel Sanchez, Bo D, Dean Too Cool, and Sean got gifted, and Carl Harden gifted for Wolfpack memberships from X-Trax 38. Big shout out to you. Yes, you are right there already listed on the list for doing that plenty of times. Shout out to X-Trax for blessing people with a Wolfpack membership. We still going to be active in the off season. We're still going to do lives. I'm still going to give stuff away throughout the off season, so you don't want to miss that. So big shout out. So, but yeah, back to that. I don't think Alpine collecting a lot of money. They collecting a lot of money to do something with, and I think anything that they do up until this point, I still think that their driver pairing is slightly toxic, and it will cause them problems and stunt their growth as a team, regardless of what it is that they're trying to do. That's a problem. Those two haven't been cool. I don't think they're ever going to be cool. And I'm going to ask you what you think in the chat. Here you go right there. Poll in the chat. Don't dance on it. Just vote on it. We got some super chats right here. Let me see what they say. X-Trax. Jesse James Bell says, I bet Adrian Newey was on the team that designed these 2023 cars. Actually, I want to say that might be accurate. It might be some truth to that. I want to say, yeah, but I'm not for sure. The fix was in from the get-go. Sooner or later, it will come out. And Jesse James Bell, I think you are absolutely in the right direction. I do think that if there is something in the dark, that eventually it will come to light about the implications of Red Bull being involved in areas that maybe is an unethical situation for all other teams that were not involved. We already saw a kind of glimpse of this back when they had the whole situation about Max Verstappen touching Lewis Hamilton's wing at Parc Ferme and being penalized for that, true. But then a situation where the FIA and Red Bull were developing a test standard to check out a rival opponent's car. That definitely is a damn contradiction. That definitely is something that we can't be having. All right, that's definitely that. No, that wasn't correct at all. That's a conflict of interest out of this world. X-Trax 38 says, love to all Wolfpack fam. Love to you. J Rob just drops another Wolfpack membership in the chat. And let's see who just got blessed to get that. J Rob dropping a Wolfpack membership, and it is definition of essence. Let me tell you all something, people. When you get these memberships, make sure you finish your sign-up process so your memberships keep going. People are blessing you with an opportunity to be involved with a real community that doesn't just ignore your comments. Think about it. Even people who leave hateful comments here can't even say they get ignored and avoided because I face the music. I respond to all comments. Show me another platform that definitely is as involved with the community as we are, and I am here. Show me another platform that shows you more appreciation in ways that they can than I do here. Show me another platform in Formula One ecosystem that does as much as the Wolfpack family does to try and help other people in need in the course of a season. You're not going to be able to do it. Say what you want to say about my opinions, my takes, but one thing is I try my best to involve you all with doing F1 Minute to give you a platform to share my platform, to share your voice and your face. I'm telling you all, they can do what they say, what they want to say, but Wolfpack fam is up. We are the best out here doing it. We are the best out here doing it on all levels, on all fronts, all cylinders driving, and that's a salute to my family. Big shout out to all my moderators who tolerate and do what they do. Big shout out. So J-Rob, definition of essence, get that. Also, Cassius Clay saying, Why stealing a world championship title from a driver to give it to another one who will win 19 races 2 years later? He didn't need any dirty help. I'm with you there. I'm with you there. But they did it. You know why? Because they such in a rush to change the way the face of Formula One looks, and you still didn't do it. Because Max Verstappen is still not good enough as a person to be the face of Formula One. Lewis Hamilton's still the face of Formula One. And they prove it time after time when they go into these areas and need Lewis to stand up. Hey, can you represent Stop playing, man. Stop playing out here. Who else we got? Wirey Supreme, what's up? W15, can you do something for me? Drake voice. I ain't doing a Drake voice. I got some problem with Drake from the 6 stealing lyrics, bro. You know what I'm saying? He really didn't win. He didn't win. He did not win that rap battle against Meek, but Drake's still a good artist. Very delusional about being the best of all time. Like, let's just be honest. Like, when people start trying to compare Drake to what Michael Jackson accomplished in his artist career, you are really delusional. Michael was doing that when none of this was around, when none of the steroids for streaming and digital platforms was around. Don't do that. Drake is not that. Drake is really not even a very good lyricist, honestly. He does good hooks, got good beats. He's very sound worthy with his technique. But how Drake raps about all this gangster shit when he was on the Mickey Mouse Club, I'm lost. I'm lost at it. But yeah, Drake's still a good artist. You know what I'm saying? Still a good artist. And, you know, he's like the latest new era LL Cool J. LL Cool J did what Drake did before Drake was doing it. Rapper, then turn a little bit soft, turn into the ladies rapper suave man. That's all Drake did. It's been done before. It's been done before if you really look at it. By the way, big shout out, new platform that I do got, a new channel. If you interested, Trap Star Cars, that is a channel and platform where I'm interviewing hip hop artists, R&B artists in the industry, even maybe soon to come ball players and others about their vehicles they own and how much they know about it. The first guest on the show was Lil Flip, Houston rapper, legendary freestylist artist out of Houston, Texas. So big shout out to Lil Flip for being my first guest on there. I have a lot of other guests already getting ready to sign up and come on, as well as other people involved in the industry. So if you want to check that out, you want to know if these artists really know about their cars or not, check out the channel, Trap Star Cars. New interview there. It is like a trivia game as far as that. And if you want to check that out, you can. It was very funny. Flip, maybe... Well, I'll leave it for you all to actually check out the video to see how much he knew about his vehicle, but it was a good episode, some good information in there. I will go ahead and put the link in the chat right here, and you can check it out if you like. But yeah, that was it's going to be a fun time to do the interviews and do the game show in this episode. So I will pin it to the top of the chat if you want to check that out. Let me see who else we got in here as far as the super chats before I move on. Derwin Hill. No, we got Dodge Man, which is a VIP member of the family. Here comes the longest 97 days of the year. Well, guess what? Time flies when you're having fun. We're going to do our best here to have fun and still stay active on the channel. I know a lot of other people, they're going to go on hiatuses. They're going to take long ass vacations. They're going to do, other things. I'm still going to be here doing the car build and content for that, and I'm still going to be here with you all, staying active about Formula One, about what you like, and I'm still going to be doing giveaways here. So we're going to try to make those 97 days as fun as we can, guaranteed. Derwin Hill says, since the F1 season is over, thank God laugh aloud. Now it's time for us to grudge race take over. Let's go. Derwin, you are not lying, bro. We will be having the Grudge Race series that's going to be kicking off in a more official way, but still with some grudge racing. And in that grudge race, up for grabs for the champion of the Grudge Race Wolfpack series, will get a Fanatec wheel, Fanatec base that is PC, PlayStation and Xbox ready, and plus the Fanatec pedals to upgrade you in your sim racing career or life or whatever it is you got going on. We're going to have a bomb time with that. You don't want to miss that. You will have to be a family member of the channel. Big shout out to Rainmaker, our most recent new member of the channel. Big shout out to him. So yeah, we're going to be kicking that thing off real soon. So that's going to be a good time. Also, let's go ahead and move on down the list because I want to talk about some of these other positions. We already talked about Gasly complaining, Gasly being upset. Let's talk for a minute about the shenanigans. Lewis Hamilton finishing in 9th place, top 10, just one spot out from the last point there, just one spot above Stroll, which is not very good. He didn't make a lot of moves this time like he did last time. Last time was a very good drive to go from 19th, I believe, to 7th. This time, not so much. This position really didn't change. I want to say, did Hamilton start 11th and go to 9th? But either way it go, it wasn't great. Russell on podium. Better start in there coming up, better position on the grid. He worked for it on merit. The car was not right for Lewis Hamilton, so it happens. It's happened. But Lewis Hamilton over the course of the season has been the better driver, and more the dominant contributor to Mercedes and as far as their constructor championship campaign. But when it comes to what they told Lewis Hamilton over the radio, I don't know why they told him this. They told Lewis Hamilton that he was the fastest driver on track. And although that might have been true, because Lewis Hamilton did have the fastest lap at one point in time. He had that. But overall, over the course of the race, I just don't see that being something worthy while of telling Lewis. And I do believe Lewis didn't really buy into that. I don't think he really bought into like, yeah, I'm the fastest driver and this is really about to happen on track. So again, Mercedes, just I guess maybe it was like a confidence builder or maybe something to support his mental while going through this race because they see, well, there it is right there. You see it right there. I think Mercedes are coming to the realization that they might have messed up big time. And what I mean big time is by what we chose to do because we thought for a moment that we could do anything we wanted to do and there was no failing to that, might have dinged the relationship with a phenomenal GOAT driver of all time. And there is no measuring how deep that ding could have damaged our relationship and or his trust in us to provide machinery of equal or better competition. And that's just real. Like, I mean, if I was a driver for Mercedes and I knew what I knew and knew you didn't listen to what I said, my input, you went against my advisement, you consistently decided to stay in a direction that wasn't right. I went on stage. I was at a press conference. It could be pulled up right now. I stood by my team and said, they don't make mistakes. And y'all made a big ass mistake. And I stood by y'all on that. I put my reputation on line saying Mercedes doesn't make mistakes. It was a mistake. The car is a piece OS. You built that. If that ain't a mistake, it's an abomination. And an abomination ain't good in nobody's book. Yeah, he going to have some problems with that. It's going to be some controversy with that. So they need to consider that. So let's go and keep working our way down the list. And we will go into Alonso. Alonso finishing 7th, still in front of Stroll. Still something that Aston Martin need to look into themselves as far as, is this something for us to really consider about Lawrence? Is Lawrence trying to sell the team? They got these rumors out here. Is Lance eventually going to get canned to at least reserve driver and get us a better driver in the seat? We want to know if that's going to happen. I don't think so. I think they're going to still run it up. And I think what they're going to find is Lance Stroll is not going to progress any more than he has just yet. I don't want to say never because he can. I just don't think he is. Everybody meets the cap on their potential, no matter how high it is, no matter how great your potential is. At some point in time, there's a cap. There's a maximum that you can achieve. And I just think, based on what I've seen through the years and the seasons, Lance Stroll has maxed out. I don't think he's going to be able to. Think about it. Alonso, longest standing career right now in Formula One, is beating Lance, which Lance should be in his prime. Alonso is not better than Hamilton. And at this point in time, Charles, Max, Perez, Lando, and maybe even Piastri. Where does that tell you about Lance Stroll? He's not your guy if you really want to win or have the chance to elevate in the Constructors' Championship. But daddy-son relationships will fuck up business all day. It is messing up business. It's messing up business. It's messing up wins. It's messing up performance. It's messing up pace. It's messing up on money. Money. Constructor Championships equal money. It's messing up money. But, keep doing what you're doing. Keep being insane. But I tell you what, we about to do something. Let's put our hands together. Let's say a big congratulations for the latest and greatest, newest VIP Wolfpack member. Is Black-Hearted Mad Dog 27. Congratulations, Black-Hearted Mad Dog 27. You are the most recent and latest and last VIP member for the season race. Congratulations. Those points do not stop. Hey, don't stop accumulating. Keep doing your thing. There's more people, even in the offseason, they become VIP members. But Black-Hearted Mad Dog is our latest VIP member. If you know where he is, you're friends with him, you follow him somewhere, make sure you tag him, tell him to come here. I'm about to go ahead and try to put his thing up in here because he's probably not in here. And I hope that this is right, because I don't know if it's going to be in here. Congrats. All right. Tag him if you see him. Congrats. Black-Hearted Mad Dog, you are new VIP member. So all VIP members are also outlined on the Super Chat post, as you see, with the VIP medallion next to their name. He also will be getting his VIP Wolfpack gold coin. All right. And as well as all the other goodies that come in the box, the hat, the shirt, all that stuff. So make sure you send me 2 shirt sizes so I can get that out to you sooner than later. And we have it in. So big shout out to you. Also, let's go ahead and get into this. I'm going to put that right here so I can let me go ahead and put it in his box. That way I'll go ahead and get that out to him as soon as possible. All right, so let's also get into this because, I know people going to eat breakfast and we're going to be in Wolves Den at 12 noon. Remember, we be at Wolves Den 12 noon. But other than that, Perez, I'm going to say that let's just point out this right here. Point out another elephant in the room. Max Verstappen with the PR radio rant again. Max is good for some PR radio rant. He is. He's good about saying things that he wants you to think that he's supportive. He's not. He's not. He says that shit and doesn't back it up. Max with the whole, y'all can pit Perez before me if you like. When the hell did we hire you as a strategist? Who told Max that he was a strategist? Anybody? Who told Max that he runs strategy for Red Bull? Anybody? Max, we don't need you to tell us we can pit Perez before you. What the hell that mean? That doesn't mean anything. It means absolutely nothing. Just drive your car, bro. Worry about your strategy. GP will let you know what we gonna do and what you gonna do. Half the time, you don't even listen to that. So why would we listen to you? But, that's Max with the PR radio rant. He wants y'all to feel like, yeah, I support Perez and Checo. Max always says shit when he out there and he can't be, affected. Like, come on, when he said that, I said, that's so cringeworthy. Max, we know you full of it, bro. Just be you. Pia should be Rookie of the Year. Pia is Rookie of the Year. Oscar Piastri, which that's my dog, is Rookie of the Year. And nobody got a case against that. Nobody got a case against that. You can't say, Liam, not enough body of work, although the body of work he put out was good. It was definitely something that you could look at and say, hey, that's promising. What other rookie you going to put out there? DeVries, he gone. He ain't make it through there. He ain't make it. Logan, he was busy trying to channel his inner Latifi and wreck up cars. So you can't tell me that Piastri is not your Rookie of the Year. You can tell me that. You might feel that way. But statistically proven, he is the Rookie of the Year to me. So, yeah, Piastri Rookie of the Year for sure. I'm giving him that. But, hey, this is Abu Dhabi. Definitely not the most boring race, but wasn't the best race overall. That's why in the Grudge Racing Series, Abu Dhabi's not even on the circuit. It's not even on the calendar. Several other tracks are not on the calendar too, but I picked 10 tracks that I like and that I think will deliver good racing, and we'll see. And maybe some other tracks in there. You could best believe all 3 USGPs are on there. Miami, Vegas, and Texas are on there. The beginning, the middle, and the end of the season. Yeah, we're ending in Vegas. We're going to end our stop in Vegas. So I think Vegas this season probably is debatably the best circuit for delivering us competitive and entertaining racing. I think Vegas probably will get number one, but we'll rank those. We'll do an episode and we'll talk about which circuits you thought were the best as far as delivering racing, and everybody will be able to give their opinion, and we'll see about that. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and make that one of the topics for F1 Minute tomorrow. So circuit faves, we'll do that. And then we're also just going to talk in general about Abu Dhabi. We'll do that. And I think that probably pretty much will take us into a lot of other categories and topics for sure. So yeah, we'll do that. And then I'll add one other topic on there as I'm kind of getting things together throughout the day and tomorrow, and we will have that. So tomorrow, F1 Minute will be live. You will be part of the content creation, and you want to be there so you can say your piece. You can have your debate. You all said in the chat for the poll, do you think Gasly and Ocon are good for Alpine? 59% of you said no, and I agree with 59% of you. So we will go from there. So you all get ready. I have already posted the notification on the Discord meet that we're about to have for Wolves Den. Keep in mind, we will be talking about a lot of things. Go ahead and get your frustrations, get your anger out. I know Abu Dhabi is a flashpoint, brings a lot of bad memories. I don't blame y'all. And just be ready for F1 Minute to have your real spotlight in the sunshine live, okay? So I'm going to see you later. I'm about to go ahead and get me a little grub. Been up since 3 a.m. I will talk to you all later. I will talk to the Wolfpack family members sooner than later in about an hour and a half time. This is Jay, Wolfpack Performance. We're going to be here all season. Don't miss us. We still going to be live. We still going to be putting in that work. All right, I'm out. Peace.